Hi all. Like every other programming languages, in Python also we use variables. So what is this variable? So a variable is a space in the memory location in where you can store some values to operate something. I mean, you can store an integer to make some calculation like addition, subtraction. You can store some string to perform some operations. So likewise in Python, they have some, they have some features, they have some rules, they have bound some rules to name these variables. So while naming a variables in Python, you have to remember these naming conventions. That is, a variable name must begin with a letter or an underscore. A variable name must begin with a name or a letter. A variable name must begin with a letter or underscore. So what does it mean? It means that you cannot make underscore. Okay, fine. Underscore. The spelling is still mistake. Underscore. So what does it mean? It means that you cannot name a variable. A variable name cannot start with an integer. A variable name cannot start with a integer. Like you cannot name a variable like 9 var. You cannot name it like that. I will be demonstrating this using a program also in Python. But before that, I will be discuss out what are the other naming conventions. So it can contain alphanumeric character. So alphanumeric character means that it can contain alphanumeric character. Fine. So character. So it means that you cannot start a name of a variable like 9 var, but you can very well use a name of a variable like var 9, or you can use a underscore, say var underscore 9. So far so good. And Python is a case sensitive programming language. So all keywords in Python starts with capital. All keywords in Python are in small letter, are in lower cases. So the simplest way to print hello world is simply writing print and then hello world. Now since I am speaking of that Java is a case sensitive language, that means that you can very well assign a value, say print equals to, say suppose a string. So I am assigning this print variable with a value of a string, the value of which is string. So since Python is a case sensitive language, that means that this print, the print which is written in small hand letter, is not the same as it is written here in print. In the same way, RAM and RAM, these two are different. Again, RAM, this one is also different. So these are all the naming convention, and you can very well give a variable name as simply as an underscore. Let me show you what I mean. So here I am working in my VS Studio Code, and in VS Studio Code under ZX I am creating a new file, say naming.py. Fine, so far so good. Now let's see what I can do. What I can achieve regarding the naming of the variables. So if I say that underscore equals to 2, and then I say print, and then I go for underscore, then Control S to save this file, and then view terminal, where it is, view terminal, command palette appearance, where is it, yeah, here it is, terminal. Now if I simply write, let me ignore this, so whatever they are asking for, restart later, some new releases Visual Studio comes up with. Every now and then Visual Studio gets itself updated. It is a very handy IDE for developers. So Microsoft community is dedicated towards upgrading the Visual Studio versions. So nothing to be bothered about at this present moment of time. Let's focus on the thing which we are trying to achieve. So in the April C, I have to browse to the ZX folder. For that reason, I will be writing cd ZX. Fine. Now I'll be running the file, say Python, and the name of the file is it is naming.py. So naming.py, fine. See, it is printing 2. In the same way, we cannot name a variable, say 9 var. We cannot do so. See, it is throwing an error. Also, if I say that print, print, and then if I print the value here, so if I print the print the value of the variable print, Control S, and then go here to the terminal and run the program. See, it is showing. Okay, so there is a problem with the braces. Let me fix the braces which I was working on, and then see, it is showing 2. You can store a string as well. If you say string, it will be the output will be string. So let me run the program one more time. So see, it is printing string. Now, like Java, likewise in Java, what I do, the naming, we cannot name a variable, say Ram, Sham, Jodu, Modu. That is not a convenient way of naming a variable. So there should be some some logical way you can use a variable. So to name a variable, there are these following conventions. One is Camel Case. So what is Camel Case? Camel Case means that the variable name should start with a lower alphabet, and then the subsequent letters will be in caps. Like say I want to store a variable of say A class, and then say A class, and this performs operation sum. So this is camel case letter. There is also a snake case. So what is a snake case? So while naming a variable, a snake case means that the variable names would be separated by an underscore. So A, then underscore, then a class, and then a case. So far so good. And there is another one, camel case, snake case, and there is another one. I cannot recall of it at this present moment. Browse it all by yourself. Okay, so I have remembered. It is Pascal case. So while naming a variable, these three ways of naming a variable is popular. One is camel case letter. That means that the variable names would start with a small hand letter followed by the camel cases. Each of the words would be in capital letter. Then there are snake cases, which means that the naming of the variable would be separated by an underscore. And there is another one, we call it the Pascal case. So what is a Pascal case? So Pascal case generally means that each word starts with a capital letter. So if I say sum of two numbers, we will be saying sum of two numbers. So this is Pascal case. So these are the three naming. So these are the three ways we can name a variable, give some logical name to the variable, and we generally don't go for naming a variable, giving Ram, Sham, Jodu, Modu. No, those are not the naming convention. The naming should be done in some logical format so that the programmer can, at later point of time, can figure out that what they are given. Assign the name for the variable of what things they are going to achieve. So this is all. This video is all about it. How the topic for this video was the naming convention. How can you name a variable, give a name to a variable, what are the naming conventions which you should follow. And as already being told in the before starting the video, that we use variables. So what are variables? There are some spaces in some memory location in which we can store some values, and using these values we will be performing some operation. So this was all about this video. Thank you. See you again in the next time in my embarking upon journey towards learning programming languages. Thank you. Bye.